Go ahead.
Well, good morning. My name is Trevor Hurd. I am the owner-operator of Coastal Athlete in Bethany Beach, Delaware. I'm also the youth pastor at High Tide Church that meets at John Clayton. Just threw that in there just so.
Any excuse to throw that in there.
My facility is 300 square feet right underneath Mango's restaurant in downtown Bethany Beach, literally right off the boardwalk. I specialize in functional fitness, and I'll get into that in just a second. It's fitting that we're here in the second week of January, as I've been talking to your illustrious members about New Year's resolutions and so forth. I'll give you my bio real quick, and then I'll kind of jump into just a little bit about, I've said, about 10 minutes of my thoughts and my beliefs, my systems, my philosophy about fitness and so forth. I was born and raised in Houston, Texas. Was a tennis player my entire life and soccer player, but primarily tennis. Graduated, was recruited by 20 to 30 Division I schools. Ended up going to the United States Military Academy at West Point for 2 years. And then transferred from there after 2 years because I wanted to play professionally, and you can't play professionally if you were serving a 6-year active duty commitment to the United States Army after you graduate. So I went to a little school over in Chestertown, Maryland, Washington College, where I finished my playing career there, graduated with a degree that I don't use whatsoever, political science and economics, maybe a little bit in economics. I was not. No, I was too short to run for office. You gotta be like 6 foot, like I'm barely, you can only see, Like I preached the other day at my church, and I was like, can you guys see me? I was like, behind the podium. But I played professional tennis for 2 years, mostly in Central Latin America, Canada, and the United States, and so forth. I have trained in my lifetime over 50 Division I athletes. I've worked with 3 to 5 professional athletes. I've consulted with the United States Tennis Association, numerous colleges and universities, Johns Hopkins, Washington College, University of Chattanooga, and so forth. So as I get deeper into what my business does, as I said, functional fitness, that is basically human performance, I guess, is something that you guys would understand. As we got into running, that would be one of my main talking points. If you're a long distance runner, if you're running beyond 3 miles, I would immediately stop.
He's not looking at anybody.
I'll let that sit there just for a second.
Reagan, you have to take a bathroom break right
I'll
now.
let that marinate. No, I mean, we could sit up here all day and have 5-hour discussions about fitness and so forth. What I really wanted to talk to you just a little bit about today is just to be on guard of what's going on really in the fitness industry. And the first thing is where the fitness industry has gone and where it's going right now. And it's kind of a negative downslide. The fitness industry back in the 80s kind of exploded with the onslaught of the Gold's Gyms and the World's Gyms, what we call the big box gyms and so forth. Also, going kind of parallel with that was long distance running, Forrest Gump, and so forth. But what we've seen as the fitness industry has, not only financially, but also from a participation standpoint, as it's exploded in numbers and revenue and so forth, we have seen a reverse path of obesity in America. So as gym memberships and gym revenue and fitness revenue have exploded, obesity rates have also exploded, which doesn't make sense unless you look at the fitness industry and what it promotes. So one of the first things that it promotes is easy workouts. And you've seen those. I was preparing for this last night. I actually had my youth group. We meet Wednesday nights, and I got home and I was just making some notes for this morning. And it was Marie Osmond was doing the body gym. Have you guys seen that?
Yeah.
It's basically a bar with like a piece of rope, and you can do a curl and so forth. And she was like, it's the most effective piece of equipment ever, and the reason that it is because I say that it is. Mm-hmm. So the first problem with the fitness industry is that it's unregulated. Okay, everybody out there, Marie Osmond, Tony, the guy with the gazelle, shake weight, all of these products that you see on infomercials that guarantee success don't. which takes me to my second, so you've got unregulated fitness industry, celebrities promoting easy workouts. Easy workouts don't work, right? And then you've got, on top of that, social media coming into the norm with Instagram especially, Facebook and so forth. And now fitness experts are basically young women between the ages of 18 basically and 30 who basically build their fitness business with pictures of this and so forth, booty gains, how to build your best.
Booty gains.
If you go on Instagram right now and just put in fitness, I guarantee you the top 10 to 15, 20 comebacks are basically young women, scantily clad. I'm not kidding you. And
Will we see you there?
You will not see me there. And I'm blessed in my business that I don't really have a social media presence. I've got probably 150 Instagram followers, and most of my posts are my golden retriever. So,
Yeah.
so that's what it comes down to. On the occasion, I will post pictures of boot camps that I run in Bethany. In addition to private training sessions, I also contract with the city of Bethany. I run their boot camps in the summer. This is my third year. As we finished last season, it was my third season. My first year, I did probably around 200 people. Last year, we did over 3,000.
Wow.
My largest class was July 4th, Saturday, and we had 120 people there. So right on the beach, you guys are welcome. It's $10 a head. I'll even cut the Rotary break, maybe go $5 if you bring me a ticket. One of the reasons I think that, especially the boot camps are so successful is because what it does is it resonates with people. It's a hard workout. It's in the sand. And as I consider myself, I try to be entertaining, educating at the same time. But what the main things I've said, especially with all clients is, real fitness is tough. Real fitness takes work. And if that's one point that you take from today, the main point that you take from today, that's what you need. Especially, as I've talked, I coach at River as well and so forth. I worked with a lot of their kids as well. And it's shocking as the kids are growing up today. It's just everybody they want something easy, like the body bar, the shake weight, the gazelle, and so forth. So if you come by my facility, and I'm sure Reagan can talk to you about it, there are no machines. There's just kettlebells, bands, TRXs. We do primarily body weight, motion-based fitness as well. And as I'm not going to take up a lot of time, but what you should be looking at, and for most of you, even if you don't come to me as your trainer, what you should be looking for in your trainer or any kind of education or anything that you pay for from a fitness professional, first thing is certification. Right? You have a lot of trainers, because we are in an unregulated industry, a lot of trainers who can just go online, purchase, in 30 minutes a fitness certification, and they are a certified personal trainer, and that gives them some level of credibility. Okay. My certification, not to brag, but is the top certification in the world. It's the only certification that requires you to have a college degree in kinesiology, anatomy, nutrition. I had to actually apply because I had a political science degree. Okay. A special waiver, and at the time in my career, I was doing high-level tournament training in Houston with tennis juniors, and I wanted to combine fitness with them. This is like 15, 16 years ago. So they let me apply. I failed the first test, studied for 6 months, and then barely passed it. So it's called the Certified Strength and Conditioning Specialist. Any magazine that you see, like Men's Health and Women's Health and so forth, most articles you'll see like John Smith, CSCS, that's that certification. That certification is also kind of the industry standard. I could go train the Washington Redskins, any professional team, and so forth. But I love living in Bethany and working with women who run. Shake their head when I say you shouldn't be running. I'll take questions on that in a little bit. But to kind of go back to the point of what you should be looking for from a fitness professional or any kind of fitness instruction that you get. You need to make sure that they're using certain keywords. They're certified with a decent certification. B, one of the words you should always hear is progression. I know you've heard that in my facility as well. They're pushing you towards athletic performance and how to perform better as a human being, as opposed to having six-pack abs and a bigger booty or bigger shoulders or, big biceps. The human body was meant to train as a whole. And let that kind of sit there for a second, because raise your hand if you have a gym membership to World's Gym or Gold's Gym or so forth.
I have a gym membership. Rack Fitness.
And you see people going there all the time. They sit down and they do a chest press, and they can do 200 pounds, but they can't do 5 push-ups. Or they get on the leg press machine. I love that one. I did 600 pounds on the leg press machine. I'm like, we'll go run some stairs.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're training the body in separate parts as opposed to a whole. So make sure they're using the word progression. Make sure they're training your body as a whole, and make sure they're working on other things. Ironically, as we're in the assisted living facility today, what was one of the first things that you saw when you walked in the building? Wheelchairs. Bad posture, fragility, lack of mobility, lack of movement, and so forth. So that's basically my system. So anytime that you come train with me, we're going to work on 5 to 6 different points every workout, which would be footwork, mobility, balance, functional strength, explosiveness. People kind of shy away from that, but explosiveness could just mean pushing up at a quick rate or squatting at a quicker rate, how our body was meant to train, and so forth. And it can happen at any age. We work with tempo, and we work with time. We don't work with repetitions or anything like that, because repetitions limit. And time, if you work with time, say 30-second, 1 minute, 2 minute intervals, you can train as hard as you can for 10 seconds. So if I say do 10 push-ups, give me 10 seconds of push-ups, you might give me 1, but you're going to train as hard as you can for that 10 seconds. So, that's really the main thing that I wanted to get across today. Fitness is hard. Make sure that you have a qualified fitness professional, hopefully coastal athlete, right? Or come see me, for the boot camps. I was talking to the city of Bethany this morning, emailing back and forth, prepping for the season coming up. And just don't waste your money on stuff that's actually going to make you less fit, like running shoes.
Oh my God, I gotta leave.
Running is great. But the human body was not developed, was not designed to run long distances. And as I told Reagan when she first came in, all right, the first session she had, I said, does anybody know where the term marathon came from?
It's the Greeks. They would run from marathon to the place of marathon, and the first one was a warning system, if I'm not mistaken.
It was a runner going from Plataea.
Thermopylae or something?
Thermopylae, Plataea, the second battle of the Greeks. They won the victory over the Persian. Right? The guy ran 26.2 miles back to deliver. We won, delivered the message, and dropped it.
Oh my God.
So then
Bundle
they
of
continue the
optimism.
tradition of
That's a true
marathon.
story. That is a true story. What the running industry won't tell you also is there's an average of 1 to 2 deaths per marathon. When you start to run at a long distance, your heart, there's
I don't want you to be a statistic.
Marathon.
yes, question.
Well, just because you're talking about the running, I was thinking about, you were saying all those different words and now I can't remember
Yes.
any of them.
Progressive running.
But you did
Progressive.
say endurance.
Yes.
So what about that?
What about endurance?
Is it important? Is it not important in your opinion?
In my opinion, it's very important. And that's another thing. So these are excellent questions that most people will not ask their trainers. Like when my clientele comes in, I said, I'm working for you. You are paying me a fee. Any question you have or anything that you want to do is okay with me because you are basically buying my time.
That's because we can't breathe. You're working us so hard, we can't breathe to ask you questions. It's all part of your diabolical plan.
Here's a question to you. How many energy systems does your body actually use when it engages in any kind of activity? And I've asked this question almost every client I've ever had.
I don't understand the question. I know it sounds dumb, but.
All right, so if all of us get up and just walk to the elevator, our body is going to select an energy system within itself, within ourselves, to get us to the elevator.
So there's more than one.
There's more than one. There's 5, and they're broken down due to because they're broken down. They're selected due to intensity of exercise and also duration of exercise. So if we say we're going to sprint from here to that wall, we're going to use one energy system because it's very short, it's very fast. If we're going to say, okay, we're going to run downstairs, and that's going to take probably 30 to 45 seconds, it's going to select a different energy system. So at some point, cardiorespiratory stamina, which is endurance, comes into play. If we're going to say we're going to run from the police now for 5 minutes.
This is the third time you've said that. Oh,
I know, I had a very entertaining pre-life before I got married and got back to the church and so forth. But no, these are questions that you should ask trainers. What's the difference between fast twitch and slow twitch fibers? You should know that as a soccer coach. Anybody? These are basic, and these are basic fitness terms that.
Is it true that you're born with either slow or fast?
You're not. You're born with both.
You're born with both, but do you have like a dominant one?
You do if you train it. So if you're a soccer player, we both coach at River Soccer. Even kids, we 4, 5, 6, and so forth. All right, we would train their fast twitch. Fast twitch fibers are muscle fibers that react in a fast motion. And they're used specifically for soccer and movement-based sports and so forth. If you're a long-distance runner, you're training your slow twitch fibers. Yes?
So I have a couple questions. So 30 years of running, I don't want to run anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm with you on that. But I do like the endurance, and I do work out. I like the core. I think the core is, I agree with you, and you didn't say core, but.
Define core.
Well, your inner muscular, everybody works on push-ups and.
Can somebody give me a definition of core, what the core is?
It's this area.
Yeah, it's your trunk.
Yeah, trunk.
You can say trunk, pillar, core.
Torso.
What's it encompass?
A lot.
You should know this.
All the important stuff.
Fast twitch.
Heart,
No,
lungs.
Quick twitch.
No. So there we go right there. So what you see, excellent question. You just say core. What you see right there is the problem with the fitness industry. They take a key word, which is kind of, core is a very generalized word, right? And they promote everything around it. Oh, it's going to strengthen your core.
Well, the way I say that, I mean, guys, they all want to work on their arms and shoulders and legs.
Right.
They forget about the core. I mean, I'm with you. I've seen guys that can bench press 300 pounds, but I can out sprint them quick. And I mean, so what I'm saying is, I can't come to Bethany to see you.
Okay.
But when I come to see you, I want you to tell me what I need to do after we talk over, discuss a plan. I'm just saying this hypothetically.
Gotcha.
But when we discuss a plan, I want you to tell me what I need to do to get to where I want to be, because I don't know how to get there.
Where do you want to be?
I want to be
Healthy.
fit, healthy.
Right.
I don't have to be big.
Okay.
I'm not trying to get big. I'm just
Right.
trying to strengthen what I have.
Okay.
And just, keep it the way it is. Keep the fat off and.
So here's the problem with an excellent question. I want to be fit. Define fit.
Well,
Not drop
it's,
dead from a heart attack.
That's a very broad.
Who wants to be run from the police?
I want to be
Not drop dead from the heart attack.
for a 51-year-old guy, which I have nothing to compare it to, but I see a lot of other 50-some-year-old guys.
Right.
I don't compare myself to women. I don't, because I know that they're.
Yeah.
They endure a whole different thing than we do. But what I'm saying is, I feel I'm physically fit, but I could always be better. I don't think we know what we mean when we say we want to be fit.
That's why I say define it.
Well-
Anytime I have a client come in and they say I want to be fit, I say define it, because it starts their thinking process. What does it mean to be fit? So for a 51-year-old man, myself being 47, I look at it in terms of probably a number of bullet points or a number of major factors. First for me would be mobility, the ability to get up and down.
Right.
Okay. Second would be joint stability, the ability to move and walk on a daily basis without pain. Third would be alignment and structure and posture. All things you rarely hear as you sit up, right, and so forth.
Yep. Yeah, she's back here like this.
Fourth,
She's trying to get out of the sun.
She's like 23.
I am trying to get on.
Fourth would be rotational capacity, the ability to rotate. Fifth would be footwork and functional strength and so forth.
And you still haven't touched on the lungs and the heart and the breathing and the endurance part.
But that all is
Well, that's part of the explosion that you're talking
Well,
about.
that's all supplemental. So when you're training these factors, you're actually training your heart and your lungs and your cardiorespiratory system.
I mean, because isn't that the, dare I say, core of the whole thing is to keep your blood and your heart and your lungs and those things
Healthy.
Healthy?
What's the strongest muscle in your body?
The heart.
Yes. Can you train that to be stronger?
I would hope
Yes.
so.
Yes.
It's a muscle.
Okay, so just like any other muscle, all right, are you going to train it in a slow, very plodding, methodical fashion? Or are you going to train it to work as strong as it can?
But isn't that endurance?
Part of it, endurance, yes, there are different things. Endurance, yes. Can I go out and run 10 miles? Yeah, but it's going to be very slow. Can I go run a mile sub 6? Absolutely.
But why do that though?
Because it strengthens your heart, it strengthens your heart's ability to function at capacity.
If you train to get it there.
If you've trained to get it there. And I put it to you like this. I had a year ago, I had a physical for, my wife wanted us to get additional life insurance. Plotting something. I had a nurse, I had 2 nurses come to my facility and take me through a physical, and they said, we're going to take your resting heart rate. And I said, well, you should take your resting heart rate first thing in the morning before you move. I use the resting heart rate myself as I think it's one of the key factors or indicators of true heart strength, true fitness.
What's a good resting heart rate?
It depends, it varies from person to person. I want to say it's sub, what are they, how was it, like 30 something? I have to look that up, I would, that's a good question.
I thought world-class sprinters had like 40 resting heart rate.
Probably, I have to look at it specifically,
Yeah.
but I was, they tested me 3 times and I was, probably 30-40% underneath what I should have been, and they thought the machine was broke, they were shaking it and so forth.
But I absolutely get what you're saying, because I have people come to me every day and said, I want to be rich. But what is rich? What is
Define
rich?
rich.
Yeah, I mean, I consider myself rich now. I don't have, you know what I'm saying? I don't have a lot of money, but I've got family and I've got other things that create that
If
wealth.
you make $200,000 a year and spend $199,000, you're not rich. Correct.
Exactly.
Well, we go back to the core real quick. The core, I get this all the time, I want my core shown. Well, your core is comprised of your upper abs, your middle abs, your lower abs, but more importantly, what are these 2 muscles called, Reagan? Right here.
I have no idea.
That's like.
You can tell that I've done my job as a trainer.
I can't concentrate when you're making me die.
Also your lower rectum muscles, which are here, which are involved primarily in keeping you upright,
Yep.
and your transverse abdominis, which are basically it's like a big weight belt, and that is what helps you with movement and so forth. Yes.
You made a comment earlier about the increase of workout facilities like World Gym
Yeah.
and the increase of obesity. And as they know, I just got back from Spain and I didn't see a single gym. I'm sure they're somewhere. And I didn't see anyone as large as me when I was there. And I had a real eye-opener. The sizes of shirts and sweatshirts over there, well, XL, which is my typical size,
Yeah.
is not what I fit in over there. And 2XL is not what I fit in there, and 3XL they didn't have at most of the stores,
Yeah.
which was amazing. And you didn't see obese people; they're walking around. I would also say there was a lot of smoking, which wasn't good for the health, but there was a lot of the wine was cheaper than the food. Like it was $2 for wine,
Move.
and the food was more expensive. So interesting things I saw while I was there. I think if you cut out the smoking, I think their lifestyle in Spain was pretty amazing.
Yeah, I mean it's
Well, that's the food too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
They-
and the portion control.
Yeah.
Everything was smaller. Everything.
But they are like the natural farm to table.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was in France, it was the same way. It was
Exactly.
like, nobody's obese, and
they're
everybody
walking
gets-
everywhere.
Everybody gets fresh fruits and fresh bread and fresh everything
Yeah.
every day. They don't.
Well, I would ask you,
can't-
so big box gyms and all that fancy equipment and so forth, does anybody know who invented that?
Richard Simmons.
Close.
Jane Fonda.
Would you classify Richard Simmons as fit?
No, he's
He's
dead.
a multi-millionaire in the fitness industry, and he probably couldn't do 5 push-ups.
Such a
Well,
goofball.
that's because of what he wore.
Yeah. Was it Jack? Was it Weeder or
Close.
Lelaine?
Lane? Jack LaLanne.
Charles Nautilus.
Okay.
Oh, no, that's
okay.
funny.
On his deathbed, Nautilus, somebody was asking him, a reporter or something, said, how did you come up with this idea to build these machines and so forth? And he said, I just wanted people to come into my gym. There's no science behind it. In fact, it's all negative science if you really dig into it. It's a vicious cycle that big box gyms get people into. They sign you up on a month-long contract.
No, a
Get
year
you-
long. And then
A year long.
suckered in.
And get the auto pay.
Yeah.
I love that. Have you seen that Jerry Seinfeld episode? Or no, it was a Friends episode where they go to quit the gym.
Yes. I can't remember much.
So they get you in, they offer you 0 very small amounts of, they give you maybe a tour or so forth. The trainers that they have on staff are certified in-house, which is very scary. They watch probably 6 hours of videos and take a test that's open book, and they're certified as a Gold's Fitness trainer and so forth. And then you don't see results, so you sign up for another year.
Yeah.
And then, I was director of personal training for 6 months in the Dover Gold's Gym. We had like 24 trainers, and I think at one time we had like 5,000 members. And we were able to track membership usage through your slide card or whatever mechanism you had. 10% of those 5,000 people use the gym on 3 or 4 days a week. Like 3% used it 5 days a week. Like 80 to 90% people came like once a month.
Once a month.
But that's
Yeah.
more than people that are on the couch doing nothing.
True.
I mean, it can't be a bad thing. It's probably not
True.
the best thing, but I mean,
So if I
some
wanna-
workouts better than no workout, right?
Is it?
Or bad workouts
I
better
think
than
so.
no workout?
I take running. I'll use running as an example.
Oh my god.
Picking on me again.
No, I'm not picking. I'm picking on the long distance running. What every major study in the last 20 years has come out with in terms of running over 3 miles, 5, 10, 25, what is it, 26 miles. All right, our major joints in our body, our hips, our knees, ankles, not so much shoulders, but you know what I'm talking about now. They are basically like tires. The more that you use them, the more they wear down.
Right.
The problem also with running, as we have talked about, is if you are running and you are not running properly, if you've not been taught how to move, all of a sudden you're running for 5 miles here. You're off posture. You are training your body. Your body is going into muscle memory. You are running and training yourself to move less efficiently. Does that make sense? And then what happens is your body, your alignment is off, and then everything else in your body, knees, IT bands, ankles, and so forth, because they're out of alignment, they're in a stress position while you're running. So while you think you are doing good, and you probably are, you're burning calories and
Mental therapy.
and so forth, yes, that is positive, but there's also a negative side of that as well. You are killing your alignment. You're wearing down your major joints. All right, you're probably setting yourself up for knee and back pain.
Well, I'd personally rather that than someone sitting on the couch and
Right.
getting the weight and getting the knee and back pain
That's
anyways.
kind of where I'm
Yes.
at. Like how.
So my point to you though is this: if you were coming to my studio and you're like, if you were to ask me, why should I not run and why should I come train with you? I would say this: give me 30 minutes, right? Your average run is what, 30 minutes?
For 3 miles, roughly.
Okay. 3 miles. Okay, 30 minutes, 3 miles. That's a 10 mile pace. That's a 10-minute pace. That's basically just a little bit above a brisk walk, which is good.
Wow, that hurts.
Unless you have hobbit legs,
Unless
okay?
you and I both. We're right there. We're right there. But I'm saying, okay, in those 30 minutes,
Nice.
you're burning 300 calories, right? Probably 100 calories every 10 minutes. That's a good estimate. Okay? You come train a coastal athlete and you're going through mobility, explosive exercises, all tailored to your ability. I'm not having we're not doing clean and presses and box jumps and so forth. All right? You're going to burn probably 450 to 500 calories in addition to what you would with 300. So you go 450 to 300, what you're also going to get is the afterburn effect, which we could talk about for the next 2 hours.
So
Yeah, we're getting ready
what
to-
about walking? What about the people that can't come in and do
Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying exercise is not wrong. I'm not saying, any exercise obviously is better than no exercise.
Right.
But if you're all busy business professionals, families, kids, and so forth. I'm saying you have limited amount
Better
of
bang for your
time.
buck is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Well, that's perfect.
Not so much more bang for your buck, but more effective bang for your buck.
But you only have the one location in Bethany, right?
That's all I want.
No, I get it. But
But-
it's tough for me.
Right, and that's the thing. That's one of the reasons why I run. I can walk out my front door, start running, and then go back, and it's free. It's right there.
Take your
I'm not
dogs
driving
with you.
anywhere.
So you're long-
Take your dogs with you.
Take your dog. I mean,
So your longevity, your health is defined by how much money you're going to spend on it.
Ooh.
There's the sales pitch.
Ooh.
because I spend more money on buying healthier foods. I spend money. I mean,